Hello and welcome to Startup Street. I'm Shruti Mishra. Now, about 80% of Indians today have their own bank account and about 1.30 billion are identifiable on biometrics. Well, we have seen a jump in one area of banking. A lot needs to be done in terms of access to financial infrastructure and ecosystem. The reach of banks and ATMs in India is still poor, and the insurance and mutual funds penetration is under 4%. Now, this is where PayNearby, a leading hyperlocal network, claims to play a bigger role in hand-holding the underbanked and unbanked population of India. Founded in 2016, PayNearby offers services such as Aadhaar-enabled payment system, money transfers, utility bill payments, insurance, travel tickets across 17,200 PIN codes through over 10 lakh retail touchpoints in India. To know how PayNearby is encouraging rural masses to adopt digital financial services through local kiranas, joining me now is its co-founder, MD and CEO Anand Kumar Bajaj. Anand, many thanks for joining us today. Now, you've taken integrated commerce hyperlocal via kirana stores, given that these are the closest point of commerce in any given locality, especially in rural India. Now, PayNearby offers digital financial and non-financial services like Aadhaar, ATM, SMS payment, Khata service, and many others to the unbanked segment. What is the kind of growth you've seen this year?
Shruti, thank you so much for hosting PayNearby on this show. I must emphasize that these retailers are not only the closest, but also the most trusted ones. And our aim is to import this local trust and build on it a robust and 100% secure platform. We are ensuring that at the last mile, this trust and relationship is harnessed to provide every citizen of Bharat financial services, access to financial services that they deserve. And the key to fulfill this zid of every Indian, aspirational Indian, is coming out of this growth demonstration that we are doing together with the help of the retail partners and building better lives for our partners in the process. With regard to the remotest villages in the country, where an old mother receives money from her son in the urban center, or a farmer receives a direct benefit transfer from the government, or for that matter, someone protects himself, herself in this COVID environment against the unforeseen situation. All of it is dispensed through our trusted retail partners. And we operate more as an extension counter of these bank branches in 17,000 postal codes of India with our 10 lakh digital Pradhan partners. Now, having said that, the relief announced by the government was best received in the hands of the citizens and the beneficiaries, not to be left behind in the banks. This is what our digital Pradhan have been helping accomplish for India. And I would say this is where the digital Pradhan network really stood up and delivered through the 9,000 crore of DBT that was dispensed in 3 months' time, especially the recent ones. With regard to growth, Shruti, not only the 2 lakh new retail partners who enrolled as digital Pradhan, but also the growth came in the form of new banks joining our endeavor. The ASP certifications done by National Payment Corporation of India during this lockdown for us, or the support that came from Nandan or from Google guys in helping take our platform live. So, and most important was the NPCI support. So the growth came as a multiplier to help deliver our end goal.
Also, Anand, you've seen tremendous amount of growth, and the pandemic also led you to innovate and launch an array of non-financial services. You've introduced several new verticals like, e-commerce services, Buy Nearby, which is your hyperlocal discovery and purchase application, Jobs Nearby, and even a separate subsidiary of insurance. Elaborate on this pivot and what is the kind of impact you're hoping to create with these new verticals?
So, ये ज़मीं तो हमारी है और आसमां अब तेरी बारी है. This intention of ours is helping us lay this pizza bread. Okay. And it is not a pivot that we have done. All these programs were part of our roadmap. The pandemic has only made us reconsider the timelines. So, for example, when you see the Jobs Nearby, the fact that most of our customers who were left unemployed during this time, it was only easy for us to register them on our platform as a supply side of the job. Likewise, for the Buy Nearby, we partnered with one of the largest data partners in the country to bring about 1 lakh retailers on our platform and help dispense the trusted goods and products without touch in a zero contact environment. And when you speak of Insure Nearby, we had already bought an insurance subsidiary last year, WeCare. A good, fantastic team came along, which is helping us dispense insurance with people.
Also, Anand, you have a B2B2C model. On one hand, you're working with local Kirana stores, and on the other, you offer data-driven insights to FMCG brands about which products to sell through the Kirana stores, basically enabling inventory management for consumer brands at a hyper-local level. Take me through the revenue model and what are the kind of incentives retailers get?
So interestingly, Shruti, you will see the changing interaction at a grocery outlet. Imagine asking for 2 kilo aloo, 1 kilo pyaj and 50 rupees ka mutual fund dena bhai at a kirana dukan. The blending of shopping list with aspirations of people. We kind of modularize the services that can be easily accessed in a retail interaction. For example, ek patta aspirin with a bike insurance. You see the point that you are buying masks now with atta dal chawal. The upgraded interactions are here to stay, and using our PayNearby platform, we are partnered, like I said, with one of the largest providers to reach out and aggregate this base on a platform. With regard to data, I would say we generate income through commerce, and data is only an empowerment of supply side. So on one hand, when a customer can buy from a retailer can procure very easily from his distributor supplier or a FMCG company on this platform. So this connect is logical, and the commercial building alongside.
Right? Talking about partnerships also, earlier this month you partnered with Yes Bank and NPCI to launch PayNearby shopping card. While it operates very similar to a debit card, the card is actually linked to a PayNearby wallet rather than a bank account. What is the kind of traction you've seen?
Yeah, so Shruti, see, the history is in the making with regard to acceptance of digital drive that India is seeing. Beyond fashion, the digital payments have become a compulsion and a necessity. The fact that I tell Dilip Asbe, NPCI, that they have future-proofed India by bringing this Pratakshamev Pramanam moment where your thumb is Sarve Sarva. When the ATMs are down underwater during flood, the Aadhaar-enabled payment service comes to the fore, or the digital payments on the cards have come. 115 million debit cards which went out of circulation because of chip and pin mandate in November 2019. People were able to utilize us as national asset to dispense the direct benefit transfer, be it the UIDI or the DBT mission. Everyone was able to utilize. We are talking of an India scenario where shopping in 42% of landmass of India is not catered to on cash on delivery by the e-commerce, but they have aspirations and they are unlimited. For example, a Byju's helping us to dispense course to the kids in the rural area, and our retail digital Pradhan collecting cash from the Byju's students. Or for that matter, a Swiggy guy coming and dropping by cash after food delivery to you. Or 33 NBFC partner, microfinance partners coming to our platform and dropping their EMI collections that were not possible otherwise. So this whole fabulous network of intersection that has built the infrastructure which already exists, we are just harnessing it in a very different manner. So digital payments is, of course, the next large market opportunity that you will see.
Definitely. Digital payments is a very big opportunity going forward. And thank you, Anand, so much for joining us today. It was a pleasure talking to you.
Shruti, look forward. Thanks
All right. Thank you so much. Moving on our hot seat segment, premium lingerie and loungewear brand Clovia intends to redefine the Indian lingerie market and help customers choose beyond standard cuts, fits, shapes, designs and colors. The venture has witnessed 100% growth in FY21 over FY20, with 85% sales coming from online channels. Also, earlier this month, the lingerie brand raised $4 million in a pre-Series C round of funding led by a clutch of investors, including Golden Birch Investments and She Capital Venture Fund. To know more about the road ahead at Clovia, joining me now is its founder and CEO, Pankaj Vermani. Pankaj, many thanks for joining us today. Now, you claim to have witnessed 100% growth in FY20 over, FY21 over FY20, with 85% sales coming from online channels. What led to this growth? Also talk to us about the pivots you had to make since the lockdown.
Perfect. Thank you, Shruti. Thank you so much for having me on the platform. Big fan of what is guys are doing.
Thank you.
See, first few days of the lockdown were super stressful for everyone, right? I mean, and that goes without saying. And we did a lot of temporary pivots as well. We started doing manufacturing PPEs. We did a lot of masks, just to keep the manufacturing units alive and to help our partners. But there on we saw the growth coming back, and I think there were three major factors that led to it. One was that we started seeing the product development from the lens of COVID, right? And therefore, all of a sudden we realized that work from home has become one of the primary focus in terms of the product side for us. And we started focusing a lot on sleep and loungewear. And I think that led to an absolute explosion in the category for us. Second, our category is pretty essential in a lot of ways, right? So over a period of time, we saw the customers coming back to us as well for the core category too, right?
Yeah.
And online was kind of driving the entire sale.
Okay.
And I think, and the third and the most important thing was, which was fairly surprising, was that, this category has been a very unorganized one, right? And then all of a sudden, when you start seeing the threat of COVID, people start switching more towards branded stuff, more towards things that they trust more. We saw a lot of tier 2, tier 3 town also that started to contribute to our growth. So today, 60% sale comes from tier 2, tier 3 towns.
Okay.
Which is a phenomenal change that we've seen pre-COVID vis-a-vis post-COVID.
Right. So 60% sales happening from smaller towns. Pankaj, you started with lingerie in 2015, and over the years you forayed into new segments like sleepwear, loungewear, activewear. What have been the best sellers this year?
So this year, I think sleep and loungewear, of course, is a hands-down winner with almost like a 6x growth pre-COVID versus post-COVID.
Okay.
Maternity and feeding, products have also started. So almost a 300% growth we've seen there. And activewear, which is just a very recent phenomena added to our kitty, that has also seen almost like a 300% growth. And it is still like very young for us as a category. We're just building on it now.
Okay, so that's no surprise there, because considering the work from home scenario that we all have, growth in sleepwear is no surprise. Moving on, Pankaj, you claim to control the entire brand experience, right from design to wardrobe. Take me through your technology, how are you in sync with the latest trends, and most importantly, how do you manage your inventory at a low operational cost?
So our core category, that is bras, it's like probably the most complex category in the apparel space, right? So we have like literally 40 plus sizes for a single product, right? So managing inventory is a nightmare. And then it's not just one product, it's not just one country, right? India has multiple geographies. So what would work in Northeast will not work in North India, and higher up you go, the sizes change. So it's a phenomenally distributed country that we have. So I think this was, and of course, then different demands are there from different parts of the country as well. So our core fundamental was always that let the customer decide what they want, right? And then this is that we said that let's understand from the end consumer and then try and build out on our ecosystem. So we have a clutch of designers who basically, of course, do the demand forecasting, build the product out. And once the product's first batch has been delivered, there's an AI algorithm, so we call it the monk, because the sensei with the sixth sense. And the monk basically starts to forecast for us, taking almost like 75 parameters in place.
Okay.
So it's literally like, we humans make it the first time, but then technology decides what needs to be made again. And I think that has managed to probably give us the best ROI in terms of, the inventory turnarounds, in the industry.
Okay, let's now talk about your future plans. I believe you're looking to add a personal care range as well. What would this entail, and by when will we see the products hit the market?
See, I think we've always been a strong believer of being a solutions brand, right? We launched sanitary pads, which had an no rash claim, and it literally has an 80% repeat purchase, and everybody used to say that, why are you doing this? And we said, we found a problem, and we need to find a solution. It's as simple as that. And we believe that, natural herbal care for new and expecting mothers is something which is, which has not been unlocked to its potential to the fullest. And that was one thing that we were working for almost 1 year. And now we were at a point, when we believe that the product is at a place where it is really going to deliver a lot of value. And that is something that we're planning to launch now, for the young mothers. And super excited about that category.
All right. So will we see the products hit the market in Jan next year?
Yeah, my fingers are crossed for that.
Okay. Also, you're also eyeing global shows. What markets are you looking at entering in, and what is the timeline again?
So we've already set shop in Middle East. I mean, we have an office now there. So very soon we'll start seeing some traction there. So Middle East is, of course, something which is very high on our agenda. And once we have kind of, perfected that region, the next, logical extension will be Southeast Asia for us and what we see. But for now, I think Middle East is the primary focus that we're working towards at this point of time.
Okay. All right, Pankaj, we wish you the very best with your global expansion plans. Thank you so much for joining us on Startup Street today.
Thank you so much for your time. Thank you.
All right, on that note, it's time for us to take a short break. Up next, we bring you two young makers that have built bots to prevent the spread of COVID-19. Catch how SP Robotics Works is providing fun STEM learning from ages 7 to 17 in robotics and coding. Welcome back to Startup Street. SP Robotics Works is an online edutainment company that specializes in providing experiential learning to students between the ages of 7 and 17 in latest technologies such as robotics, coding, drone, AI, VR and IoT. The idea is to promote STEM education coupled with fun through its AI-powered online learning platforms. Joining us now are two students of SP Robotics community that have developed COVID-based projects or solutions. While 10-year-old Sanvi Puluru wants to spread awareness on COVID guidelines with her AI bot, 14-year-old Mohit Bagaria has come up with a robot that conducts temperature and oxygen checks to see if a person traveling is COVID positive. Along with Sanvi and Mohit, also joining me now is Aarti Muralitharan, Chief Community Officer at SP Robotics Works. Many thanks for joining us today on Startup Street. Let me come to you, Sanvi, first. Take me through your quiz-based artificial intelligence model. How does it create awareness about COVID guidelines?
Hey everyone, how are you? I have made a project based on AI, and it checks if a person is following the safety measures of COVID-19 or not. So this is my project that I have made.
Okay. So tell us about the 3 questions that one needs to, basically ask.
Yeah, so first question is, you must stand in front of the camera and you have to show your face to the bot, and it will decide if you're wearing the face mask or not.
Okay.
And then the second question is, you must show with your hands how you greet to people with namaste or handshake.
Okay.
Then the third and last question is, you must answer to the bot whether you're inside the house or outside the house. Each question will get a point, and it will at the end of the full quiz, the bot will add all the points, and if you get a negative score, it won't count it.
Okay.
So at the end, if the marks are below 3, it will say very bad, and it will tell you to follow all the COVID-19 safety measures.
All right, Sanvi.
And if you get 3...
Yeah, well done. Well done. Let me now come to Mohit quickly. Mohit, tell me about your robot. What is the technology? How does it conduct a COVID check?
Yes, ma'am. So my robot here would see the car, and my robot would do a temperature and oxygen check of the car. And if it would be safe, it would print it in my screen. And if it would be danger, it would print it in my screen, by which the person would give you a signal. Now I'll show you, ma'am, how my project works. So I've given power to my robot.
Yeah.
So now my robot would follow this black line.
Mohit, probably you can show on the other camera.
Yes, ma'am, my second camera is on.
It's fine, Mohit. Just explain to us what does your robot do?
Sure.
Yes, ma'am. My robot would follow the black line. It would sense the car here.
Yeah.
And my robot would stop. It would take the temperature and the oxygen level of the person, and it would print here it is safe or danger. If it would be safe, it would on the green light, through which the car would go ahead and would let know. And even in the meanwhile, my robot would sanitize the car.
Okay.
And after that, my yes, ma'am, now it's working.
Yeah, go ahead, Mohit.
The black line. It's following the black line. Now it is safe. So, yes, ma'am. So here the IR sensor sends the barricade.
Yeah.
And so my robot stops. And even my barricade has a IR sensor here. It sends my robot. So the barricade open and the car gets 5 seconds to move.
Okay. All right, Mohit. And I believe there is a light and a buzzer. So if there is a red light, it basically doesn't let the barricade doesn't let the car go. And if there's a green light, yes. Sanvi and Mohit, thank you for explaining your innovations to us. Aarti, let me come to you quickly. You know, there are a lot of companies teaching coding to children. Tell me what is unique and different about SP Robotics teaching methodologies.
Sure. Thanks a lot. First of all, thank you so much for having us here. It's a pleasure to showcase the way that the makers are applying their skills and knowledge onto the platform. So to give you an idea today, especially on the learning, today, even the schools, the colleges, everything has gone online from a traditional school-based, to an actual online platform. So the way that we have been able to retain a lot of engagement and stickiness is two things. The very first, if you see, Mohit was actually explaining to you based on the kit, right? Unlike most other platforms, we do not have a trainer on the platform. So what do we mean by that is that we actually have an AI teacher called Sparky. So Sparky is the one that leads every single student on the platform from one chapter to another, one experiment to another. Okay. And because they are actually having the kit along with them, so there is a triangular coordination happening with the Sparky, the user, the maker, and the hardware kit. Right. So because of that, there is a lot of creation, there's a lot of mistakes happening, and a lot of learning that happens along the way. Okay. So that way, it becomes more engaging for the user that, hey, I'm not sitting and learning just like that. I'm actually doing something.
Okay, Aarti, also, at SP Robotics, you have a lot of innovations being done that can solve real-world problems. Do you also help these kids with market and industry connections for them to actually bring their prototypes to the market?
Yes. So if you remember, the last question I was mentioning to the second point is the community, right? This is exactly what we do in the community, where, for example, we've partnered. So if you saw the way that Mohit was actually doing the project and San was showing it, we have real-time solutions that are being created as projects by the makers. So we then partner with companies. So, for example, we've partnered with Tata Automations. We've also created a solar panel cleaning robot for Tata. We've also created an automated guided vehicle for Qualcomm Technologies. So these robots are in fact deployed across 18 different places from the US to Israel to even India. So that is exactly what we do as part of our community, so that there is not just a learning happening, there's also an applying or a showcasing happening where makers create something and get connected with the industry. That's exactly what we're about.
Let me now come back to Sanvi quickly. Sanvi, tell me, what do you like about SP Robotics and what are the future plans? What more do you want to learn there?
Yes, so SP Robotics is one of the best courses I've ever seen. So the tech support is really, really good. The video call and of course the tech support, they're so good. Then I can ask them to video call me anytime. So they'll tell me if I have any problem in my coding. So they'll correct me. Okay.
And what are the new courses that you want to learn in the future?
Yeah, so I have completed AI. Now I am doing Android app development. So after that, I have many plans of inventions. So I want to become a scientist, and I have many inventions to do.
Okay, well done, Sanvi. Now, before we wrap up, Mohit, quickly to you, tell me, what are the other areas you're looking to innovate in?
Ma'am, actually, I love robotics and I love physics. So my future plans are to go learn more robotics and become a problem solver to solve the problems of the country and help people reduce human efforts and let robots do many other things which help the country.
All right. Mohit, we wish you the very best with all your plans. Sanvi, thank you so much for joining us. And Aarti, thank you so much for joining us on Startup Street.
Our pleasure, our pleasure. Thank you so much, Shruti. Thank you for hosting us.
All right, with that, it's a wrap on this edition of Startup Street. More news and updates coming up on the other side.